can't honestly think. Billy. I just think Rowena wants to be Rowena. And it's kind of wonderful playing a sort of megalomaniacal narcissist who doesn't think anyone's better than her. And I'm going to say no one. Who would you choose? Oh, see? I was right. Rowena was right. Rowena. Oh, thank you for your question. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
This is fantastic, so thank you.
Aww.
You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
So my question was, obviously all the actors on the show had played several different characters, being possessed or whatever. I was wondering if you had one that was really impressive for you to watch as their acting skills.
There was one that I watched like as he was doing it, and I was just like, oh, poor Misha, because he came in, bless him. Misha was the first person like that I was able to swear at and know it was okay. Do you know what I mean? Like that familiarity, like piss off or whatever it was that we said. So Misha's very dear to my heart. I say this with love. So when he had to play Lucifer, oh my God, it's in the gag reel. But the writers, I mean, like there was this joke, they treated him like the ginger-haired stepchild, right? I can say that because I'm ginger. It's okay. Don't be defensive. So very early in his playing of being possessed by Lucifer, he had to walk onto set with his shirt open, and it said, "I'm coming." And like literally, like me, I was like, "Did you read the script before you came today?" And he's like, it hadn't even occurred to him. Like that's what the writers had set him up for. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm coming." So like that was a painful one. I just couldn't hold myself together. But it was interesting because it's a tall order filling Pellegrino's shoes. And I know that Misha spoke to Pellegrino about it, and they talked to each other. Like I talked to Jensen about Michael. Tried to find a through line, and I think he did a great job. And it's a hard thing to do, to walk into a set with people who know you very, very well and do something different. The way that Alcal has done with Belphegor. It's not a spoiler. Phew, I just said that and thought, everyone knows, right? Yeah. That's Alex. Dear, this is definitely the graveyard shift for me. Did I give you a present? No. So yeah, Alex plays Belphegor, or did. I don't know what's happened with that. Here's my earphones from the airplane. I kept them because they kind of match my coat. Do you like my earphones?
There's DNA on that.
I don't like to waste things, so you might have to give them a little rinse. But don't immerse them in water because that will ruin them. Thank you. Yeah, Misha did a good job. I thought Jensen did a great job of being Michael as well. And I'm hearing lots of noises back there, but I'm not going to let it throw me. Hello. Hi.
As an actor, what is your relationship with the scriptwriters, and do you have any advice for aspiring scriptwriters?
Yes. You're going to do very well. I love writers. You know you're late, right? I love writers. Larry Moss, who trained actors like Leonardo DiCaprio, Hilary Swank, people like that. I did a few workshops with him. And he talks about writers and how as long as the human race continues, we will be saying the words of writers no matter how long dead they have been. So like they get a bad rap in Hollywood, like you have a bad part, they say, who did you sleep with? The writer, because they don't have the power directors or producers or money people do necessarily, but that's changing, and it's changing right now the way that a lot of things are changing. So I love writers, because without somebody starting the germination of an idea and writing it down, like there's nothing. we can devise stuff, of course, but even that's a writing in a way. So I love writers. So on the show, I met at the 200th episode party. I was only really been up in Vancouver for a week, and Bob Behrens was there, and I got introduced to them. I was like, oh my God, you wrote my audition sides, now do you understand why it breaks my heart to see what a colossal pussy you've become? And we made instant friends, and I called him Bunny. I don't know why, it's like an old Hollywood name, like Bunny. Bob Bunny Behrens is what I call him, that's what he's in my phone as, everybody else just calls him Bobo. And Steve Yockey came on the show. Steve has written amazing plays, I've read his plays, incredible writer who's gone on to do the new Kelly, and I can never say her surname, Coco, her new show. Meredith Glynn, amazing female writer we have on the show. Andrew Dabb, obviously, Eugene and Brad, like I know them all. And and Davey, I'd love to do an episode of his. Maybe the movie, I don't know. But the writers to me they're the backbone, they're so important, and so I'm just so privileged to know them and like them and pick their brains and want to work with them. And I hope that one of them writes me something in the future. So what was the question? I just went off on a tangent about all the writers that I love in Supernatural.
What advice do you have for aspiring scriptwriters?
The good thing about writing is you can just write. But like being a musician, you can play. Acting's a bit weirder to just stand and do speeches and stuff, So I think as a writer, you can always write. And Jackie Collins, she's a hero of mine. Did you read Jackie Collins novels growing up? Yeah. Guilty. I honestly don't think I'd be in Hollywood if I hadn't. She used to write kind of Hollywood stories of people she knew, all kind of masked. That she would mask the real people, but you would know it was Madonna that she would write about. It'd be called Donna Mad or something, the character. Really clever. But she would write 2 pages a day, no matter what. So that's 600 pages a year. So even if 1 page was good, 1 page was bad, at the end of every year she'd have a book, no matter what. And Anthony Nielsen, who's written some of the best work I've ever seen in Scotland, I met him in an award ceremony. He left the award ceremony early to go home to write because he wrote every day, because if he didn't write every day, he wasn't a writer. So that's advice from writers. I wouldn't dare to give you advice because I'm not a writer. But that's the advice I would try to give myself if I wanted to do what you're already doing. You've got a universe created. You just need to get practical about agents and connecting with people and being careful with your property, with your intellectual property. That's the other thing. So you need some good advice. So you need to ask people much cleverer and in the know than I am. That's my advice. Ask cleverer people than me. That's quite good advice. For anything, right? Thank you. Did I give you a present? Oh dear. Granny's forgetting as she goes on. Oh. I'm going to give you a My Hope chest bracelet. Is that okay? Thank you for your question. Oh, are these eyeballs? Oh. Has there been a bit about those? No. Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you. Good luck. Let me see these balls. Does that work? Does that read? Why are they there? Why are they there?
It's better than the dead trees. You like that, huh?
I don't know what you're all laughing at. You're all It's too hard. Hello, sir.
I just got distracted by the bouncing eyeballs.
You just, Well, have I had time to answer this question?
Ms. Connell, it's great having you here. We love
Thank you.
hearing especially the Gaelic language that you brought to Supernatural, even if it's just a few lines. So I'm curious, I thank you again for bringing back to the stage. You brought some of that as well.
Thank
Do you
you.
have any favorite lines that you, either Gaelic or Latin that you spoke? And do you see more Gaelic language representation in media, like Outlander and things like that?
Yes.
I like your sweatshirt, young man. Why? Did they win? Did they just win? Oh, that's his alma mater. Did you know that?
We're married? Hey, right on.
Ah. I've forgotten your question. But anyway, never mind. I'm going to give you a bracelet. Doyagi and Farshaw, Doyagi Galuraki.
Ruth, I think it was a pretty good question. You should answer it.
That was Gaelic. I just said it.
Okay.
Oh no, I'll say something. I don't see. I see good Gaelic representation in Scotland. There is funding for projects and news reports to keep the Gaelic language alive, but I don't see it beyond that particularly. What I do love though is that there does seem to be a real resurgence in Scottish culture everywhere because of like Outlander and Rowena. Everyone else. I think that's it for my panel. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
How did it go? Looks like it went really well. You know her, you love her, Miss Ruth Connell. She's a black magic woman. She's a black magic woman. You don't have Mike here to flirt with. She's a black magic woman. Got me so blind that I can't see.
I like this version.
She's a black magic woman, and she's gonna make a devil of me.
Keep going. One music.
Ruth Connell, everybody. Okay, guys, we've come to the part of the show where we don't have any more panels on stage, and so we, as a pared-down band, because we had to say goodbye to Billy Mike that had to catch a plane home, as a pared-down band, we're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for being with us this whole weekend. You've made it really amazing for us. So we sing the song that we always sing at the end of the conventions, and we bid you a good night, and thank you so much. We'll see you again in 2 years, I think. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home. Not till after your autographs, photographs, meet and greets and stuff. The end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. It's the end of the con as we know it. So go home. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to my co-host, Mr. Jason Mans, and Steve Norton and the rest of Loud and Sway. Thank you so much and good night. Thank you so much. We love you. Good night.